What's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and welcome to another awesome episode of my weekly Q&A show titled The People's Questions, episode 194. This time, rather, we got a pretty solid list of questions coming from all regulars of mine, so welcome back, team. So jumping right into them with the first few questions coming from Philip the Darkness March, and you want to know, will I ever put Sora from Kingdom Hearts in a versus series matchup? I would like to put Sora in a matchup, it's just finding a proper opponent. Because I like to follow three set of rules when it comes to matchups that I put together. The first rule is the character has to have a certain set of functions which can be placed in the versus series matchup. It means I need to be able to analyze them on a physical, combative, tactical, and magical or special sense, which Sora does definitely follow. The next thing is his opponents have to be somewhat comparable to him. So it's obvious that he would have to fight obviously another Keyblade wielder or maybe one of the members of Organization 13. And the third is that the opponents have to be part of the same universe and that they've never met in the actual game, which is why you're seeing a lot of comparisons between characters which obviously have never met, because I think it makes it easier for them to compare. But if I ever did find an opponent like that I felt confident this was a pretty fair matchup, then I would absolutely put Sora in a matchup. Your next question is, have I played Dead Space 2 you have played Dead Space 2 18 times, and have I ever played a game that much? First off, can you please give me some serious skin, because fist palm, because Dead Space 2 just happens to be my favorite installment in the franchise. I haven't played it as many times as you have, but I'm probably at least 5 playthroughs behind you, so I've beaten this at least 13 times, and it's truly incredible. In terms of playing a game that many times, I would say the closest to a number like that I've played, past Dead Space 2 of course, probably Final Fantasy X. I've played that game at least 20 times and it never gets boring to me. Final Fantasy X just has a special spot in my heart. It's by far my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, even though Final Fantasy VII is the most important video game I've ever played. But there's just something about, as an RPG, something about it that has stand the test of time. And that's why I've pretty much bought it in all my Sony systems. I own it on PlayStation 2, I own it on PlayStation 3, I own it on PlayStation 4, and I own it for my Vita. 4 different systems, and I've beaten it on all of them, and I've enjoyed it every single time. Your next question is, do I think that Dead Space 4 should be on Earth or not? Well, should it be on Earth? I don't think it needs to be on Earth. I mean, if anything, it needs to be on another space station. Because Dead Space 1 took place on the Ishimura, I hope that's how you say that. And then you went to Dead Space 2, and that was also on a space station. And then we went to Dead Space 3. The first section of it was on Earth, and then we went into space to another space station, and then we went down to the ice planet. So I would hope that it's a mixture of locations. So that's just my feel. I don't think it should be set on any one strict location. I think we need to diversify our locations to show how these necromorphs evolve depending on their environment. So I would suggest at least maybe 2 or 3 different planet or spatial locations. That's just what I would do. The next 3 questions come from William Laurie, and you want to know, what genre of anime do I prefer? Buddy, William, I will watch just about anything as long as it's not that extremely gratuitous, like hentai stuff that's very disturbing. It's just something about that. I just don't want to watch. I just don't want to see anime that's disturbing. I don't mind if you want to add like a lot of nudity as long as it's not too excessive, but nothing like too much rape or mutilation. I mean, I understand that mutilation is present in a lot of animes, but at least they keep it down to a minimum. That's just me. Your next question is, have I played any of these Splinter Cell games? Yes, I've played only one of them and I couldn't finish it. I got like maybe 2 missions in and I decided to quit. And I believe that was Splinter Cell Blacklist, I believe. Yeah, that's the only one I've ever played, and I didn't like it after 2 missions. Your next question is, what is the worst movie I've ever seen? Well, that's an easy one. Movie 43. look through my library of videos and look at my review of movie 43, and it will say as its main thumbnail, worst movie I've ever seen. And I even go into a little bit of a rant of a story of how my movie experience of seeing that movie went. And boy, is it pretty hilarious, if you know what I mean. The next set of questions come from the oldie boy, number 123. And he wants to know, do I play many computer games? In terms of the quote computer games, not many, but if you're talking about games I play on computers, then yes, I have a lot of emulators for older consoles like Super Nintendo and Genesis and Game Boy, and I play those games on my computer, but I don't really say I have any definitive computer games that I play on my laptop. And I don't even think my laptop is really built for those type of games. I know that it's probably best to play computer PC games on PCs and not laptops, but that's just from what I've heard. Your next question is there any game on the computer that I would like to see on a PlayStation 4 release? No. If it's on PC, it's probably on PC for a reason, because we all know that PC is probably a little bit more powerful than any console. It's always going to be one step ahead of that. But I'm fine with being with consoles because I'm not really much of a PC person. I don't like using a keyboard to play my games, even though there are controls that you can plug up to PCs that you can play that way. I just prefer it to be controller, console, television screen. That's how I like to play my games. Your next question is, with Fallout 4 bringing mods to consoles, would I be interested in mods coming to the consoles as a standard for console games? No. I think that mods will just kind of ruin the experience, at least for me. I don't like using mods at all. I like to play the game just the way it is. The next questions come from Nearly Hazers, and you want to know, are there any games that you have never played for some reason that I've always wanted to? No. I mean, in terms of games I was curious of, the only game I can think of that comes to mind was Gears, but that was because that was the only thing that Xbox had in terms of games. But if there was something I was curious about playing it, I played it. Whether it was PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, or even PlayStation 4. If there's something, especially if I have GameFly, if I'm curious about something, there's no reason for me not to play it. So yeah, apart from Gears or anything that might show up on Xbox, which I probably won't try to even think about rebuying an Xbox at least for another 3 or 4 years, apart from that, really no. The next question is, do I like stealth-only games such as Dishonored? No. As much as I love Metal Gear, I like games that give me options. I mean, when it comes to a Metal Gear game, I prefer to use stealth. But if, shit hits the fan, and I need to go into an immediate gunfight, I like to have that option. I think games like Splinter Cell kind of penalize you for that. I think Dishonored also penalizes you, even though there are multiple different ways you can approach the situation. But no, I mean, I don't mind only stealth games. I just think that they're a little bit too limiting. I like to have my options in terms of gameplay, playthroughs. That's just me. The next question is, do I like to play games? What do I like to play their games on their hardest difficulty or on easy? Most games in terms of their difficulty, I never play them on easy. I guess when I was a teenager, I played most of them on medium, but I like to play it on like hard. But then there's like the second hard. I always like to play it on like the second hardest difficulty if there is one option there. If it's a game that I need to get through relatively fast in order to get a review up for it really quickly, like the newest Call of Duty, I'll play it on medium because I know I can blow through it relatively quickly. But if it's something that I want to take my time with, then I'll play it on a much harder difficulty. The next set of questions or the next question I would say, comes from Dr. Hino419, and you want to know, who would win in a fight between Solid Snake and Deathstroke? As much as I want to say Solid Snake, I have to say that Deathstroke will probably take Solid Snake down, simply because I think his skill set as a martial artist is far more advanced, more than Solid Snake. Solid Snake is a very skilled combatant in his world, but Deathstroke is the type of person who goes up against members of the Justice League and can go blows to blow with Batman. And Batman is the greatest martial artist in the DC universe, so if he can successfully kick Batman's ass, and there's no reason why he can't take down Solid Snake. Even his stealth would be of little use against Deathstroke. The next question comes from Fading Toaster 406, and you want to know, I seem to like JRPGs, which I do, and do I like other RPGs like the Soul series or Bloodborne? No, I legitimately don't like American RPGs for some reason. I didn't like Bloodborne. I tried playing that, couldn't get into it. I don't like Skyrim. I don't like The Witcher. I don't like Risen, which I've heard very, very bad things about that. There's something about the JRPG style of how they do RPGs that I prefer. It's what I've grown up with. And it's really not something I want to venture away from. I've tried it once or twice, but they all seem to play very much alike, and I just don't like that. But heck, that's just me. The next questions, which are the last two of the episode, come from, hope I said this right. Please help me in the comments down below if I get your name wrong. But Cfrei11, real terrible with names, but if you can, like, you know, pronounce it in the comments of how to say it properly, that would really help me, because I want to get this. And you want to know, when should I buy a PlayStation 4 and what games are best to buy or wait for? Well, you should get a PlayStation 4 as quickly as possible. And if I could pick out 3 games I would say you could get for PlayStation 4 if you don't have an Xbox One or don't own them already, I would recommend getting Infamous Second Son. It's definitely probably one of the best sandbox games you can get on the console right now, along with getting Wolfenstein: The New Order. I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed this game, despite the fact that I've never really been much of a Wolfenstein fan myself. And I would absolutely pick up Mortal Kombat. If you can get a good group of friends together, there are a lot of gameplay modes that you will absolutely enjoy playing. If there are certain games I would suggest you wait for, which I would say they're probably at a sales price right now, you could get the Order of the 1866. I hope I said that right. It's been a while since I played that. And a number of the other exclusives. Definitely look at your sales bin to see what PlayStation 4 games are there, and if there's a game that piques your interest, then I would suggest you pick it up. But in terms of new releases, I can't really think of any right off the top of my head that I would say you need to get, like, right now. And the last question of the episode, and you want to know, what are my top 5 favorite Assassin's Creed games? Alright, we're going to do this in order. I'm going to do this from 1 to 5. My favorite installment by far is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Then it's going to be Assassin's Creed 2, then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, then Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna say 3, and the last one that I can think of is probably Rogue, even though I didn't finish that one, but once I kind of saw where the story was going, I didn't need to finish it. And those are the questions you guys sent for this particular episode. I'd like to thank all of you guys for making this episode possible. If you guys have any questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below, but make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday before I start filming this. And if you guys have any recommendations for future videos, be sure to share those in the comments down below as well. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching, because you're all entirely awesome, and I will see you next time.